Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and of course the Bolt fam, welcome to another edition of Bolt Blitz Uncut. I'm your host, Booga Peters, and it's Wednesday, my favorite day of the week, because I've got my favorite producer ever, and no offense, Bert, and anybody else, my favorite co-host ever, Taylor Bloom of not only Bolt Blitz Uncut, but of course, the highly successful, one of my favorite podcasts going on out there in Charger land, Charger world, if you will, the Electric Edge podcast. Taylor, thank you so much. Happy Wednesday.
Yep, happy Wednesday.
I get messages like that. You know, I get happy hump day, but it's happy Wednesday sometimes. A good evening from Lee Ainsworth of the Chargers Power Hour. Brother, appreciate you being in the comments. We're really glad to see you here. Taylor, let's just get right to it. No football for so long. We've just got to come up with stuff to talk about it. But the good news is we're pretty damn good at this. I was born in it like Bane. He was born in the dark. I was born in the offseason. Bolt Blitz began in March of 2010. And it felt like a struggle, but I'll tell you right now, during the offseason, people just want to talk football when there's nothing going on and there's no football to talk about. That makes for sad boys, girls, and everything in between. Taylor, we've got stuff to talk about.
Absolutely.
Because I'm good at this shit. The Bolts are on break. The Harbaugh Bolts, the new Chargers, and even before that, I need to bring this up. The San Diego Chargers used to get in a lot of trouble for quite some time. I don't know that I can remember a Chargers arrest in the last two regimes, and I don't know that I have any concerns under this Harbaugh one. Do you have any worries about anybody on this roster getting in trouble during this time off, or has the ship been righted and are we on the straight and narrow, if you will, so to speak?
Well, there was one player that got arrested last year. Denzel Perryman got arrested.
Oh, he did? No!
But it really wasn't for anything. It's typical California laws he got arrested for, so I don't hold that against him. He didn't do anything wrong. But to your point, it's been the good boy era with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, for a long time.
I don't have any concerns of anyone getting arrested. I think from all the players that we've heard from, some of the guys there last year, like I don't see any problem childs per se that are going to get in trouble in these next 5 weeks. If I'm going to put money on it, maybe it's Denzel again going to the gun range. But other than that,
that's what it was.
Yeah, he was going to the gun range and he had guns that weren't California compliant, and he got arrested for it.
Does that count?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
you know
he didn't do anything wrong. Like those,
he didn't kill anybody. He's not Henry. He's not Rasheed Rice.
No, I mean he played in Houston, Texas. He played. I think he played for the Raiders too. Like he probably had guns from when he was in Vegas or Texas that are compliant in those states, and then California can't have them. So
yeah, lo and behold, the guy, when you can hit people in the mouth, regardless. Like you're going to be obtained and signed by all these different teams when you're a free agent. You want enforcers like Denzel.
Yeah.
Do we want him getting in trouble? Absolutely not. But I promise you, I probably read that and was just like, I'm not even keeping tabs. That I'm not trying to be shitty. I'm from Michigan. It's the Midwest. It's winter often here, half the year. Yeah. So hunting is huge here. Like I'm one of the I used to be one of the only people in Michigan to not own a gun. Yeah, it's just a part of it. And honey, you're brought up on that. We're eating venison steaks, and that's really good eats around. I mean, it's good food. You do it right, by the way. Little gamey, not too bad. I kind of love you. I got to do this. Lee Ainsworth, it's in the title, and I've explained this to you B-double-O-G-A, just like Snoop with the double O. This Booga? Who the hell is Booga? You sound like Sanders and Steve Mariucci arguing about how to pronounce my name on a show they did back in the day on NFL Network, talking about a comment I put on Twitter. They asked you to submit questions, and it was, do you have any concerns about Justin Blackman having trouble adjusting to the NFL in a similar way that Des Bryant did as far as staying out of trouble? And they talked forever. And then what did they do for like, They talked about the actual question for like 40 seconds, and then they argued about how to say my name for 3.5 minutes. Deion Sanders went as far as to say, man, there's no grown-ass man called Booga. It's got to be Booga. Man, it's Booga. Come on. Lee, you're breaking my balls, brother. We love you, man. Thank you. If you have yet to do so, make sure you check out Lee on the Chargers Power Hour. he's doing a lot of crazy and fun stuff on the Gen Wealth Network too. And he's a big, huge supporter of this show. And I can't help but be the same of all his projects. And maybe, just maybe, eventually he'll get my name right. We love you, Lee. I got to press you a little bit. Since you said Denzel, I think we don't need to do a top 3. Knowing that he got in a little bit of an issue last year, I'm going to say the same exact thing. If I had to pick one guy that might get in trouble, it probably would be him. Mr. Stay Hydrated. Why is Gatorade not hit him up? Come on, y'all. He's been saying stay hydrated since I was, well, a little bit younger.
Yeah, I mean, or Body Armor. I know Body Armor, I think, is sponsoring some leagues. I think they sponsor the NHL. Like, perfect marketing opportunity right there for him.
And he says it every time they
all
get
the
him
time.
on camera.
All the time. Stay hydrated. It's good advice. Stay hydrated.
Right? Yeah, right. Hashtag that shit. Let's talk about something right now. And you know, for those of you who've been following since 2010, I was talking on my damn phone. I know, Lee, if I don't mess with you, man, it's not going to be fair playing field. Y'all give me some shit too. I love being on your show, but if I don't flip it back, then I'm just not being me. And y'all know better than that. If you know me for 5 minutes, you know I'm going to be me regardless. It is what it is. Hopefully I grow up someday, but we're going to see how that turns out. Let's get back to the show, if you will. Lots of optimism. And I'm partially a part of that regarding the Chargers 2026 season, the addition of Mike McDaniel, another year with Jim Harbaugh at the helm, another what we believe is a successful draft. Yeah. So successful that Ortiz said after taking Harkey, it's a guard so the fan base can shut up. I mean, it was 4 guards and a tackle. It was, it was all over the O-line. Probably the best weapons that Herbert's ever had as a collective group. When you look at the different groups, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, collectively, probably the best he's ever had.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of trepidation, but your podcast, the Electric Edge podcast, which I love, and almost every other podcast I listen to, everybody's so excited and so optimistic. Am I just being a curmudgeon, or is this real? Is the hype real?
No, I don't think you're being a curmudgeon. I think it's just Chargers PTSD. Because, you know, in the past, there's been very good Charger teams and they don't win. You know, they don't get the ring. So I think that's fair to have a little bit of pessimism about the season, especially with the Chargers' history. I mean, who thought 2 of their tackles are going to go down last year and all the injuries they had? So that's totally fair. But I think just on paper, the weapons that Herbert has, I would agree with you, is probably the best weapons he's had so far in his career. The defense is pretty much the same for last year as a top 10 defense. And I don't really think there's going to be much difference in play with Chris O'Leary coming in. Like I think I mentioned to you on Sunday, I think they're just going to be a little more aggressive. But I think that's going to stay the same. I think special teams is going to improve this year. So why not the Chargers? Like, why can't we finally turn the tide with all of the playmakers they have? Bringing in Mike McDaniel was a big piece of this offseason. Like, why can't the Chargers be the team to flip the script finally and make a run to the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, you probably nailed it on the Chargers PTSD thing.
Yeah, I mean, it goes deep.
5 decades. Deep. It's so deep. It's way taller than me. Not that it takes a lot to be a lot taller than me. I would just say this: still the same ownership group, though I am not of the opinion that I used to be of. I mean, Spanos, the Bolt, the move to LA, Joey Bosa was the highest paid. I can keep going. There were too many.
Derwin's the highest paid safety again.
Like again for the second time. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we've already kicked the cheap moniker. Like we should get away from that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a money issue at all, especially like how insanely beautiful the Bolt is. I don't think it was ownership saying, hey, we can't spend money in the offseason. That I think that was a Joe Ortiz kind of philosophy, as we've talked about. So I don't think it's a lack of spending money and being cheap by any stretch, for that piece of this offseason.
I definitely don't for this offseason. For the last 4 decades or so. Well, no, not 4 because we didn't have free agency back then. But for the last 2.5, it's been a little. They made the move for David Boston, and then they just stopped doing that shit. God, what a flunk out. What a bust as a Charger. It looked like Tarzan played like ass. Like he couldn't do shit as a Charger. It was frustrating. Starting fights. Him and Jammer got into it a lot. Quentin Jammer, former Chargers defensive back, one of my pals, great dude, a little crazy on the Twitter timeline, or X, if that's what you call it. We call it Twitter here.
It's entertaining.
It is definitely entertaining. He was pushing an agenda right now that I'm not going to bring up on the show because I don't have that in me. But if you get bored, go to his Twitter timeline and see what he's pushing now. We'll get him on this show at some point. The guy helped me through my divorce. He was incredible. He and I talked every day for weeks and weeks and weeks because he had gone through a divorce. I believe it was 2.5 or 3 years before that. And my drunk ass one night DM'd him because we'd been following each other. He'd been a guest on my show for a long time. And I said, hey, dude, I'm kind of going through this divorce. I'm really in a rough spot. So as crazy as he is, and he says a lot of nutty things on social media, I promise you he's an incredible human being. And my kids got to see me for a lot longer because of the talks that we had. So I appreciate him wholeheartedly, regardless of the newest agenda. But he's just having fun with y'all. If you guys do not realize he's click farming, you're just missing out. It's an engagement farm. He is just constantly trying to get people involved. He was just on the Raw Room, and it was a really fun episode. That's got Jalen Collins, sometimes Trey Boston, but King Dunlap, former Charger, and Trey Boston, of course, former Charger safety for a bit there. A good one, too. Hated seeing him go because he really kind of shined a little bit. But if you get bored, go check out the Raw Room, too. It's a really fun podcast. And Raw is the part. We're uncut here, so we appreciate that. And we just love to see that kind of stuff. I get my trepidation, and you and I have talked about this so much, and I'll get back on topic. It's the 2 guard spots. I don't think there's an actual, Mike McDaniel proved me wrong. I don't think there's an actual number 1 on this in this wide receiving room. I don't know if it can be QJ. I believe it could be Ladd because we saw this. We've seen for however many years when McDaniel was there, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and he just schemes people open. We saw what he did in the running game, producing 18 touchdowns out of Raheem Mostert, of all players. Good Lord, he's played for like 12 teams. And then, of course, the Devon Achane thing. Devon is a special athlete. So is Mostert to a degree, but they're 2 different backs. Same speed, just Achane is more patient, much more deliberate in his cuts, just an otherworldly running back. But when I look at the wide receiving core, I'll be even more concerned, by the way, if they do bring Keenan back. I still don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah,
We've talked about that too much.
I don't think it's going to happen.
But the wide receiving core worries me a little bit. And if there's not trepidation, I want to know and see with my own eyes, then know how aggressive is Chris O'Leary gonna be as far as being an attacking defense. He's tired of being compared to Manor. I'm done doing it, to be quite honest. It's not, I get it. I would get pissed too. I would be upset. Like, listen, that guy's gone. I literally left the NFL and came back. Like I sowed my oats, if you will. And I got my stuff done at the lower level, which people, if you haven't been paying attention, the Chargers have kind of been doing this thing where they'll send coaches to college and then they bring them back later. He's not the only one, but this one, and Chris O'Leary, one of the most important because he's a defensive coordinator of this team. When you have guys like Derwin, Khalil Mack, you've got extra coaches on the field. The transition should be smooth, but I just want to see it. I want to see it first, and
that's
we'll
fair.
all know.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
But the special teams was horrible last year.
Yeah.
Like horrible. Ryan Fick, and listen, there was so much movement. There were so many players in and out, and a lot of his starters were not there. And when Dean Leonard went down, that was the best gunner on the team. Troy Dye missed time. And then there were just bodies who were contributing on special teams, like high contributing factor players that are no longer Chargers. I think that needs to be cleaned up. And then here's the deal. It's easy to talk about the overall health of a team. But the health of this team, obviously Herbert, I'm not even going to bring that up, but it's on Slater and Alt. Yeah. They stay healthy. This is a completely different team. Shit. When Slater didn't even play last year, the team was exponentially better just with Alt.
1,000,000%. And it goes to the point, if those 2 guys were healthy last year, even with the bad interior play, that offensive line, just think about how much better they would have been. They would have had probably 13 wins last year. And then you make the argument, well, they may be they may have won the division, maybe the 1 seed in the AFC. They would have had home games in the playoffs, not going to Foxborough and playing in the cold. Like, much different scenario if those 2 guys were healthy all year last year.
Here's the deal. It's my opinion the Chargers right now for this year, if they are healthy, and Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, they have the best tackle duo in the league.
Yep.
We can talk Mailata and Lane Johnson. We've been doing that for a long time. Mailata still, if he's not in his prime, please let him get there soon for the rest of the NFL. But Lane Johnson, he's about a decade younger than me, and let me tell you, I'm kind of old, so it's a bit of an issue there. I cannot think of a duo, and correct me if I'm wrong. If you're in the comments, let me know if there's a better duo than a healthy Rashawn Slater and a healthy Joe Alt. I don't think so. I have maybe the majority of it is old school Chargers PTSD, as you mentioned, going into this segment. Maybe that is it. Maybe I'm just searching, looking, begging for every reason to just not get my hopes up again for the 47th season in a row.
That's totally fair. I mean, look, I get that there's a ton of optimism, but I truly believe like this is the best team on paper in this Justin Herbert era of football for them to actually make it run. And they have a real head coach. Like, when's the last time the Chargers had a real head coach?
Who? Marty.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody else.
No. That's the correct answer. I couldn't stand North Turner. Didn't like Mike McCoy. Anthony Lynn, Brandon Staley was horrible. They finally got their head coach and they paid him.
So I'm really glad you said it that way. That also kicks the fucking Spanos' cheap bullshit that I keep. It's still everywhere all the time. It's so fucking annoying. But they paid Jim Harbaugh. He's top 5 in the NFL as far as being paid, I believe.
Yeah, he is. And on top of that, they let him pick his staff.
Yeah.
I think Ben Herbert may be getting paid. I saw a rumor close to $1 million a year. Like, they're paying their staff. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I read somewhere. Yeah. Can't remember when, so don't quote me. But I can't imagine that Mike McDaniel isn't a top 3 paid offensive coordinator in the league either.
Oh, I would imagine if he's not already, he will be. Please do this right, Chargers. He will be next year if he's not already.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you nailed it. He's definitely top. If he's not, I'm flabbergasted he took the job, or he saw future opportunities in lightning bolts, maybe as the head man in charge. So
yeah.
Listen, as we've mentioned, and I've talked about with a little bit of rambling, my pessimism, as Taylor mentioned, is very well earned. That being said, I don't know if I've ever been more interested in a Chargers offense and defense at the same time going into a season where you literally have 2 first-year guys with the Chargers, so to speak. Obviously, Mike McDaniel is one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. I'm excited for Chris O'Leary, but it's just I don't have that trepidation that I would normally have when it's new guys coming in like Sirianni and Greg Minuski. I'm not going to get into all the ones that Sirianni was not who he ended up being clearly when he was a Charger. Shane Steichen, innovative offense. Love the way the ball got out quick. Greg Roman was like, nah, fuck that shit. We're taking forever to get rid of it. I need to make my Whoppers clean and good. Jesus. Let's go to the next one. And I know where you stand on this. And boy, is this a hot button topic around the Bolt fam, because I think it's not even 50-50. I would assume it's probably closer to 20-80, 20% of fans in favor of a very positive breakout year for Quentin Johnston. And then the 80% is, no, this guy, I cannot forget the drops the first 2 years. I cannot get over it. He'll never be a number 1. Should be Jordan Addison, which doesn't make sense because he's outperformed Addison. QJ is elite according to Jim Harbaugh. Taylor Bloom, I know you're not going to argue with me and say that he's not. Your expectations for him this year, and can he prove all the doubters wrong, or are they still going to hate regardless?
Well, I think the haters are going to do what they want to do and they go back to his rookie year. And by the way, some of those drops for QJ, you got to look at the positive side, right? The Chargers get a top 5 pick next year. They get Jim Harbaugh. They get Joe Alt. So, let's spin it to the positive. But I really do think QJ is poised for his best year yet in the NFL. Every single year he's been in the league, he's gotten better and better. The drops have been reduced. I think he almost had the same amount of drops as Ladd last year.
He's had less than Ladd in the last 2 years, if I saw that correctly.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't keep going back to his rookie year. He's a much different player from year 1 to now year 4. So I think this Mike McDaniel offense, and Mike McDaniel believes it too. I mean, listen to his mic'd up. Listen to him talk to QJ and the belief he has in him. He is primed for a very good season. I've called it already, 1,000-yard receiving season. I think it's double-digit touchdowns for QJ. So I'm putting my stock into QJ for having a really, really good season, his breakout season. we'll see if he lands in the top 10 in receiving yards in the NFL, but I have a lot of faith in QJ heading into year 4.
So let's get right to it. Is he wide receiver 1 then in this offense? There are a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Is he going to be the guy? Here's the deal. I know it was the Big 12 in college. They don't play defense. I know they don't play defense now. They didn't when QJ was there. But that being said, it takes Helen Keller could see and hear that this offense contributes and helps and accentuates what QJ does best and did best at TCU. He's a yak guy. He was breaking tackles. Listen, a guy that's 6'4" that has that kind of moves, that type of footwork with the ball in his hands. He's not a great route runner. He's getting better. Like Taylor said, by the way, I want to piggyback off this too. So it's not just her saying this out loud. QJ has literally, and we've said this on past shows, he's literally gotten better every year. What the fuck? You want him to be great right away? It doesn't work like that. You're not like that in your life. You don't just like, I'm struggling. No, I'm the best. It doesn't work like that. We're all humans, and these football players are all humans. I'm really excited to see QJ this year. More importantly, I'm more interested because if it doesn't work in this offense, QJ probably isn't going to be a Charger next year. But if it does, and this leads to my next question, perfect segue. Does he earn a big contract with these Chargers? Is he the next Charger to get paid? We talked about Derwin, fucking Bosa, Herbert, all the players that have gotten these huge contracts. If QJ has the year you're talking about, is he going to get a long-term deal that's not break the bank, but is it going to make that? What is it? What's he making? 18 right now?
No, he'll make 18 next year.
It's 18 next year. Okay.
Yeah. So he makes $4 million this year and then 18 next year.
So is he going to get extended after that to where he's going to get a big boatload of money and be a wide receiver 1 for this team?
I think if he has the season where it's double-digit touchdowns, top 5, top 10 in the league in receiving yards, the Chargers, I think that's definitely in the conversation to extend him. I'm not sure if Ortiz is going to play the angle. Okay, well, he had a great year, under Mike McDaniel. Let's see if he can redo it again in that 5th-year option. So that's the piece where I think we have to see how the season plays out. And I think it'll be telling what they do with Thule if they say, hey, you need to play another year before we extend you. I think that's going to be a determination. Hey, what we do with QJ if QJ has a massive season next year? We're going to let him say, hey, prove it to me again in year 5 or extend him. So I think that's kind of dependent on what the front office does with Thule because he had a breakout year this year with 13 sacks and see what they do with him. And I think that'll give a good indication as to what they do with QJ next year.
Taylor, specific question for you from Lee Ainsworth. Do we get 2 1,000-yard wide receivers this year? Can Ladd sneak into the conversation? Does Trey Harris maybe even supersede QJ's breakout and have a 1,000-yard campaign?
I don't know about Trey Harris. I think Trey's going to take a massive step this year in this offense. I mean, Harbaugh's comments was QJ, Trey, and Ladd were all elite. So there is real belief that Trey's going to take a massive step. I can see Ladd having a 1,000-yard receiving season as well. I think this year will be the closest to that second year of Herbert where he threw for 5,000 yards. I think he's going to be real close this year. But to your point, too, you bring up there's a lot of mouths to feed on this offense. So I'd love to say, hey, QJ and Ladd are going to be 1,000-yard receivers. I just don't know how the ball's going to be dispersed this year with all of the weapons that they have, which is never a bad thing. But I think it could definitely happen depending on how Mike McDaniel wants this offense to run. If it's going to be between QJ and Ladd.
That tight end room is pretty full too. And Mike McDaniel, what I love about him is he realizes you can throw the football to your running backs too.
Yeah.
And you literally have a running back stable full of pass catchers.
Mm-hmm.
Marion Hampton, solid. Keaton Mitchell, solid. Kamani Vidal might be the best receiving back out of the group. They're going to be sharing the load when it comes to third downs.
And Alec Ingold.
And Alec Ingold, listen, right now, Alec Ingold is not your normal fullback. Now, is he going to hit you in the mouth and fill that A and B gap on dives and anything power? Like, he's going to get in there. He's going to hit you in the mouth, but do not sleep on him as a receiving target. For me, even though Taylor was the one asked, I don't think there's a chance at all that there are 2 1,000-yard receivers on here. I think the tight end room could hit around 1,500 to 1,700 yards. The wide receiving core, the 25 to 3,000.
Yeah.
And then the running backs are probably sitting at 500 to 700, which also adds up to roughly around that 5,000-yard mark. By the way, How come Charger fans are the only ones who realize that Justin Herbert threw for 5,000 yards and a bunch of touchdowns in a system that actually fit him to some degree after he was learning it? I think at the time it was his 7th. I think he's on 11 now between college and the NFL. Like, you've mentioned it, Taylor. We've talked about it on, I don't know how many times on every show I've been on, whether a guest or as a host. The guy could have been a doctor. It's not that he's not smart. Is he the best at the line of scrimmage and pre-play? No. It's why I've been clamoring since he got in the league to work with Phillip Rivers, because the two best, in my opinion, at the line of scrimmage, Peyton Manning and Phillip Rivers. Argue with the wall, argue with your mom, or tell her I said hi, by the way. But I'm just telling you right now, as much pessimism as I have, including regarding QJ, I'm excited and very interested to see, because if he is a first option on a lot of plays, Mike McDaniel, he's kind of a weird, quirky dude. He probably just wants to give a big old fucking fat middle finger to the rest of all the fans and the rest of the league and say, I don't care what he was before. He's what I'm going to make him into. Oh, by the way, QJ works his ass off too.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there's always the option, right? The Miami Dolphins a couple years ago put up 70 against the Broncos. Like, that can happen again. Have like a 600-yard offensive game, and then you kind of lift everyone up to get in that conversation of potentially 2 1,000-yard receivers on this team, which I pray Mike McDaniel does against Denver to shut all these Broncos fans up about how great they are and how great Bo Nix is.
So let me say something. This is not on the docket, if you will, but we're going to touch on that. Used to be Raiders fans when the Chiefs were winning literally everything, the Chiefs, whatever. But I swear to God, when the hell did Bronco fans become so fucking ignorant? I promise they were not like this when the Broncos, especially when they're kind of a middling team, it was a different fan base or something. But I'm telling you right now, everybody who's a Broncos fan has watched Bo Nix play football. How can you watch a top 5 offensive line and a top 3 defense in the entire NFL support this team and watch what Bo Nix did? Boy, he's good with his legs. I will give him that. But Bo Nix, the passer, I'm not ever worried about him. Oh, well, he did this against the Chargers. Well, he hasn't beat Justin Herbert, but they never bring that up. The Broncos fans know it. They don't include Herbert on the positive list. He's always at the top of the negative lists. And then it's just, hey, by the way, that rookie year that we talked about, the second, was it the 5,000 was rookie or sophomore?
Second year.
Second year. Like, that didn't disappear. It's in the stats, bros. Sorry. Pro Football Reference. All my guys at Our Lads, Dan Shanka, we love you. Literally the best depth charts. And they have been for way longer than I've been around. Appreciate you, Dan. Thank you for everything that you do for me. Do for the NFL for me, because I'm just that self-centered. It's all for me. Let's get to the next subject, though, because this part's kind of fun, and it was kind of nice to hear Taylor be like, "Oh no, this is cool. We kind of want to do this kind of thing." We're praising the current Chargers, but there's always an exercise during the offseason that a lot of shows do. If you could take one former Charger and add them to this roster in their prime, of course, who would it be and why? I have my answer, and people are going to get pissed, but I'm really interested in yours.
Okay. I'm going to be really specific. Like, I'm going to go to a season. Okay. I want 2007 Antonio Cromartie on this team. There's been a lot of talk this offseason about, hey, the Chargers maybe need another corner. We'll see who gets cut. Prime Antonio Cromartie on this team. I think that would solidify that secondary.
Specific, to the point, succinct, just as I would expect from you. That's a really good one. For those of you who aren't real familiar with the 2007 year, that is also the year that Crow was in the top of the league in interceptions, and he got Peyton Manning 3 times in one game. In a game the Chargers picked off Peyton Manning 6 times, and they still only won by 1 point, because
that's the Chargers way.
I'm telling you, whatever it takes. I love it. I hear that shit from the organization back then. They used to say that, whatever it takes. Like, does it have to take like every 5? Like, fuck, man. 6 picks on Peyton, and it's a 1-point game, 17-16. Good Lord.
I remember watching that game. I think it was a Sunday night game, and I was on the East Coast, so it was pretty late for me to get up for school the next day. Because I think that was 2007. I was a freshman in high school. Yeah.
golly. Well, I was 10 years removed from high school. Literally graduated in 97. Mine is this, and again, this is going to hurt people's feelings. And here I am, highly touting my guy Justin Herbert. If I could pick anybody to put on the Chargers right now, it would be Phillip Rivers. Y'all, who you talking to? Come on now, same birthday, but I'm 3 years older. Give me the old gunslinger, because he played behind in 2006 and 7 played behind a great offensive line.
Yeah.
After that, they gave up, and that was just M80, Malcolm Floyd, and Vincent Jackson, and Antonio Gates, and we're going to figure it all out. And I understand it's like, did you just say Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates, Vincent Jackson, Malcolm Floyd? Oh, by the way, that one guy LT was pretty good with Low Neal blocking for him.
Yeah.
Listen, it got worse. It went downhill from there. LT was no longer a Charger at one point, goes to the Jets. But give me what Phillip Rivers can do. If you didn't see it with the Colts, they hung in there against teams. I'm telling you right now, God
he gave them a shot. He gave him a real shot.
Years younger than me. Come on. And a team like, by the way, the Kyle Shanahan-led San Francisco 49ers had been in contact with Phillip for the last like 2 or 3 years. Like, hey, listen, if our guy goes down, we want you in. They almost tried to bring him in 3 years ago. They literally were like, hey, we're in the playoffs. Brock's hurt. Oh, this is the deal. Blah, 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 blah. He's just that guy. Do I want today's Phillip Rivers, 3 years younger than me, Phillip Rivers? Fuck no, man. He and I are just as mobile right now with all my But I will say this. Give me prime Rivers. I'm not talking about when he had that line, by the way. 2006, 2007 Rivers. Those were the worst Rivers years. Those are small Rivers years. Those are not the tons of completed passes and leading the league in passing yardage, which people forget he did that. He threw a ton of touchdowns multiple times. I would like him because of his pre-snap play recognition and his command of the line of scrimmage. Again, 3 years younger than me, doing what he did with the Colts was beautiful. And there was not a podcast, an NFL related show that did not constantly post like, this is how you play quarterback. Like, this is what you do at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. This is how you check out of a bad play into a good one. It was everybody. NFL Network and Good Morning Football, they could not share it enough on their social media feeds, because I believe in that. Again, get Phillip to the Bolt, and please, please, please give him just a summer. I don't care what you pay Phillip. He's worth every penny. Give him $5 million to literally just show up and work with Herbert. He's got the green water ball, just strictly working on footwork. I love that, to be completely honest. Something I kind of picked on Justin about I think since the beginning, before he was drafted. One of the reasons I wanted Isaiah Simmons, but we're not going to talk about that. One horrible player. It's horrible. I think he plays for Green Bay now. He's drafted by the Cardinals. I thought that him and Derwin would just make this incredible safety tandem, and God, every now and then it feels good to stand on what you were wrong about, because too many about everything you're right on. We did that. If you could take one former Charger, if you could take one current player from any one of the other 31 teams, non-Chargers, could even be an ex-Charger. I don't expect you to do that. But if you could take any Charger from any of the other 31 teams, or any other player from the other 31 teams, who would it be, and why would they make a huge addition to this Chargers roster right now?
Yeah, so I'm going to stick with my philosophy of the secondary. So I had a tough one with this. I was going either between Pat Surtain or Christian Gonzalez. Like, I Pat Surtain, because he's a Bronco. I mean, Christian Gonzalez was the only player that showed up in the Super Bowl for the Patriots.
Yeah.
He locked down QJ in that, in the wild card game. So I think, we'll take out the Broncos from this. Let's go Christian Gonzalez in the secondary. And then I'm like, well, what about the offense? And, I think there's a lot of talk about the wide receiver room. Is it elite? Based on what Harbaugh says, is not elite. Bringing a guy like Justin Jefferson with QJ and Ladd. I mean, now you got a top wide receiver room, you got a top tight end room, you got a top running back room.
That would automatically be the best wide receiving room in the league.
I mean, you got a top quarterback room. Like, now you're in top 3 in the offense in the league. But I'm going to go with defense. Let's stick with Christian Gonzalez in that secondary. Because then I just think that defense is stacked once again to have a top 10 run this year.
I love it. Actually, I love it a lot. I want to piggyback off the last one real quick. If you could take one former Charger and add it to this roster, my number one answer in all reality would be Corey Lindsley.
Okay.
I love Phil, but like just give Justin Corey Lindsley back. His deficiencies at the line of scrimmage and pre-snap were completely fixed because he just had to listen to Corey. While we have him kind of, on the tip of our tongues, I hope that he's doing great health-wise. It's serious. I'm telling you, as somebody who deals with heart problems, it's a tenuous, really like unpredictable road. So we hope that both he is doing well and his family is doing well, supporting him in his endeavors. And we wish him nothing but the best. It wouldn't be the worst thing to see him join the Chargers coaching staff and maybe be the assistant head coach to the offensive line in addition to Nick Hardwick, because I think they would make a great team. Nick was almost the guy I was going to pick because Nick and I were cool back in the day. But for me, of the 31 other teams, if I could add one player from any of those teams, I love that you said JJ, Justin Jefferson. Good Lord. Herbert would have so much fun with him. Mine is George Kittle.
Okay. All right.
Everybody loves the tight end room. Oh, God, everyone loves the tight end. I didn't mean to do the Trump. I did not mean to do that. We do a little Trump impersonate. All my impersonations suck, by the way. But that's what makes them funny. George Kittle is one of my favorite tight ends to ever play this game because he does it all great. Is he a little banged up? Is he a little bit older? Sure. But the things that he does for tight end U, if you have not been paying attention to the tight end U clips, you're going to see how intelligent and smart this guy is. The guy's 6 months removed from an Achilles tear. Very familiar with those. I know those really well. Oh, and the right one. It's been rough. A partial tear and 2 full ruptures. It's been nutty. But to see what he's doing, he's still pointing his toes. He's still running routes. He's still engaging in blocks. Now they're playing in pajamas right now at tight end U, so they're not hitting people. But what he could do as far as being an outlet and a safety valve for Justin Herbert, it reminds me of in a Gates way, except for George Kittle is a tremendous blocker. He's one of the best blocking tight ends in the history of the NFL. You got guys like Gronk and Ditka that I can throw up there. Mark Bavaro of the Giants from your neck of the woods in Jersey. There's some great, well, I think he's actually from Pennsylvania originally, but in the NFL,
it's all the same.
He played for the Giants and the Eagles, which it was so weird to see him in an Eagles jersey after being a Giant for a while. That's when shit got a little wonky. But give me George Kittle. That would be mine for sure. Taylor, we're hitting 40 minutes. We don't do that very often. You're a busy gal. You got so much going on. Tell everybody what you're working on, at the Electric Edge podcast. What can we expect from you? And thank you for being on the show always.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be more episodes coming. I have a new episode tomorrow. Like you said, there's a lot of time to fill in until training camp, so there'll be more content heading your way. I haven't had it fully scheduled out yet, but I'll see what I can come up with.
That's the best part about the off season. Have fun and come up with it on the fly.
Yeah. I'll be at the Bolt, like I mentioned. I'll be at the Bolt on the 16th for the Charger Social Club. They're having game night for women. So that'll be awesome. August, it may be the 15th, but definitely the 16th through the 18th, I will be at training camp. Just scheduled my travel. The 16th, the Charger Social Club is having a day for members, so that's gonna be really cool. Hopefully, I can get some behind the scenes stuff going on there. And then I think the joint practice with the Chargers and the 49ers is the 18th, so I'll be at that as well. That's a season ticket holder exclusive practice.
It's the 16th or the 18th. I just saw it today.
Yeah, it's the 18th because the 16th is the Sunday with the social club. So, so I'm excited for training camp to get here, and we'll have a ton more to talk about once that rolls around.
Awesome. Hey, listen, you guys see me and Bert and I, excuse me, on Mondays and sometimes Thursdays, so y'all know what to expect from us. And then, of course, we've got Taylor on Wednesdays, my boy Lee Ainsworth from the Chargers Power Hour. He and I are going to be setting some shit up to where he's on here as more of a regular host. And then I'm going to bring in his boys, JD and Bogey. And listen, I'm going to say this in advance. If y'all don't like having a good time, don't tune in to me, Lee, JD, and Bogey. It's going to get off the rail. The whole show's going to be off the rails every time. Just like when I watch those cats. But man, is it fun. If you don't take yourself too seriously, especially, you're going to laugh. You're going to they say some fun, crazy shit sometimes. little bit of some extracurricular activities similar to me and whatever. So I vibe with that kind of a crowd. If you want to have a little fun, stay tuned and see what we're going to do with the Chargers Power Hour and Gen Wealth Network. And they have 8 other names because it's just hard to start podcasts. I don't know all the names, Lee. I can't. Just like you can't get my fucking one name right. I can't get your 174 shows names right. But I got the Chargers Power Hour one right. So I hope you appreciate and love that. On behalf of my producer, co-host, Taylor Bloom, also the host of the Electric Edge podcast, my name is Booga Peters. Thanks for all you do. Just keep being good or decent people to the level at which you can support those and love those around you. And don't be who I've been in the past. We love y'all. Peace out, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Bull Blitz Uncut.